Balance is a key element in maintaining a successful business. On this segment of Tacoma Means Business, Andrew Fry says keeping your company on its feet depends on a positive cash flow.
I was having a coffee conversation with a friend of mine who's also starting a business. A brilliant man, has several patents, and has put together some solutions that I think are going to actually disrupt industry. So I'm very excited about it. He's out there at this point in time, and he was talking to me about how he needed to find more cash for his company in order to keep it operating over the next 6 months to a year. So I asked him, now how much are you going to need? And he said, well, I calculated my burn rate, my monthly burn rate, and I think that if I had this much money, I could be good for about a year. And I said to him, well, haven't you actually already landed some contracts? And he said, yeah, I have. I said, well, how much are those contracts worth? And it turned out that they were worth approximately 40 to 50% of what he thought he needed in order to keep the company rolling. So he'd calculated his cash burn, but he hadn't factored in the influx of cash from product sales and contracts. And that's why it's very important that you think about cash flow. So cash flow is the flow of money. It's the money that's coming into your business and the money that's moving out. It's a flow. It's important to have positive cash flow. More money coming in than going out. Of course, anything that's simple gets a little bit more complicated because the money that's coming in is coming in from time of purchase, oftentimes when they're paying with cash or credit card, but it's also coming in from contract sign or invoices. And although you count that as revenue, it's not the flow of the cash until the invoices are paid. The cash that's flowing out comes in the form of your employee pay, the salaries and so on, but equipment purchases, any bills that you need to make certain that you pay, like your rent, electricity, and so on. And that amount has to be less than what you're drawing in monthly in order to be a positive cash flow. So 3 things I want to mention about cash flow. Number 1, it's very important for any starting business. A company that's getting started really does need to calculate how much is going to come in. And the mistake that you can make is to think that everyone pays their bills. Because the truth is, even if you have the revenues in and you count on that being paid in 30 days for the month, sometimes people take just a little bit longer in order to make that payment. And that can affect your cash flow as well. The truth of it is, when your cash flow, when your cash in is less than your cash out, it's called running out of money. And when you're running out of money and you're starting a business, it means you're done. So the second thing is that you should be paying attention to seasonal businesses, because you can be a profitable company, but understand that your costs are going to change in whatever seasons come about. If you're selling swimming pools, get ready for a bleak winter. If you are selling heaters, then understand that perhaps winter is a good time of the year for you. And certainly, almost every product-based company has a Christmas season or holiday season where more revenue can come in than not. So it's important to understand your cash flow then, as you don't want to get caught. You could be doing fine. You could be bringing positive cash flow in for 6 months in a row, and then you hit that downturn. And if you haven't planned for it, your expenses can stay the same, but your cash flow in is going to go down. So seasonal businesses need to pay attention to cash flow. And the third thing is, don't confuse cash flow with profit. Profit's great, and you want a profitable company. That's really a good selling point for any business, but you still need to pay your expenses. And what if you're building equity in your company and you're profitable and you're buying equipment that makes your company more valuable when you count up all the assets? Yay, assets are higher than what your liabilities are at the time. But if your cash runs out, you're still done. So you need to make certain that you understand what is coming in to your business that you can then turn around and pay off what has to go out. And that's generally speaking what cash flow is and why it's important. We'll look at the idea of how to analyze your cash flow next time around.
For more tips on growing your business, check out Tacoma's Community and Economic Development Program at makeittacoma.com.